Hey guys, Adam here from Handy Dads, here to show you how to replace a window screen. Now, if your frame is damaged, I'll show you how to rebuild the whole entire thing. If not, fast forward and you can see how to rescreen just by itself. Now, first things first is if, let's say you don't have a screen to measure. If you have a good screen to measure, of course, measure it out and you have all your measurements. To measure the window, you're gonna wanna go side to side, and I'm measuring 28 3/4. So I'm gonna add 1/4 inch so that it can sit inside the frame. And then from top to bottom, I'm measuring 47. So I'm gonna drop it down a 1/2 inch, maybe even 46 3/4, 46 1/2 to 46 3/4, so that we could get it to slide in nice and easy with no resistance, because these are very lightweight and they will bend very easily. If you have the frame already and it's not damaged, or even if it is slightly damaged, you could double check, confirm your measurements. This is 29 by 46 1/4. So let's go ahead and start with the frame, and I'll show you how to rescreen as well. They have these awesome kits at Home Depot that has everything in it that you need, from the corners to the springs and the rails, everything. Just get the appropriate size for the window that you need, and let's get started. Okay, this is a very important step. The total width is 29 inches. The corners, each side adds 3/4 inch. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna subtract 1.5 inches to compensate for the size of the corners. So our 29 is really gonna be 27.5. So with the 3/4 and 3/4, it's gonna equal 29. So the 29 inch window screen is really gonna be 27.5. So that's the measurement we want to put onto our new track. All right, so now you're gonna wanna get some type of tool and you're gonna wanna take out the spline on each of the tracks before you cut it. So we'll go ahead and throw that away. And now I normally flip them for the smooth side. And our measurement was 29. And then we're gonna wanna subtract 1.5 inches. So we have 27 inches total. And now what I'll do is grab 2 of the tracks, make sure they're lined up, and transfer that marking over to both. And now you have nice clean markings for your widths. Okay, so our height is 46.5. That's a true measurement because we use the same that we removed. We're gonna go to 46.5 and we're gonna drop it down 1.5 inches. So 45, and then we're gonna go ahead and grab our last and final rail. We're gonna go ahead and transfer over the marking. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut them. We're gonna use our DeWalt angle grinder with the cutting wheel. Everything that I'm using is gonna be on a link below, so go ahead and feel free to click on them. You can see where you can get them from, any big box store, any Home Depot, not a sponsor yet. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the handrails. For this, you definitely wanna use eye protection and get in right on the line and start your cut. Nice and even. And that's going to give you a nice clean cut. And then what I like to do is get your tool and clean off the little sharp edges and clean off the inside shavings. That way your corner piece will fit in nice and easy. You also want to make sure that your corner edge is the right direction, because it only goes one direction, so that the grooves, your spline, will fit inside of it. So now we're just going to go ahead and continue cutting the rest of the rails and cleaning them off as you go. So we're going to want to put our corners on, making sure that they're facing the right way. Both sides. making sure the groove is on the inside of your frame. And see, there's a little metal piece there that's going to be sharp and possibly cut your screen. So make sure you get all those little shavings off. All right, so we have 3 sides put together here. Now on the 4th side, before you put this into the corners, your kit comes with a set of springs. And so you're going to want to put that on the outside of the last vertical side, because we're going to fit it into the window screen, and that's going to put some tension onto it. It's going to into the window trim. So now that those are in place, now you can go ahead and put these in, connect them to your corners, and now you have a perfectly square window screen with your springs for your tension that will hold it in. Now you always want to double check and make sure that it is good before you move on to the next step. So because we have the other screen here, I can line them up and they look perfect. If you don't have the screen, go ahead and dry fit it into the window, making sure that it fits. So the opposite side of the springs, you have these little tabs that come in the kit as well. So you're going to want to put them into the track, and the tabs face inward into the screen. And I'll normally put them a little bit from the top and from the bottom evenly. Now we're going to go ahead and go on to the screening process. So if you had your frame already built and it was in good condition, now you just want to go ahead and remove the spline all the way around and get some window screen. Get your frame, and you're going to want to lay it out across the frame. You don't need to waste a bunch of screen. So go to the end of the frame, and that's it. Okay, so now the spline that comes with the kits, when you put it in, it tends to pop out. So I normally get the thicker spline that they sell right along with the kits, and it gives it a little bit more resistance from popping out. So we're going to want to go ahead and just start from one corner. Also, you're going to need this tool to be able to get the spline in. Okay, so you just want to get it started in the corner and just push it along nice and evenly with a little bit of tension, not too much tension, because otherwise your frame is going to start bowing in. So what I like to do is just hold the spline, hold the screen, and just go with it. And then I usually come back again to make sure it's in the track all the way. Okay, so then we're just gonna continue, make your corner, making sure it's straight, and just push it along. Now where the tabs are, you're gonna have to push a little bit harder to get it in the track. Okay, making sure your corners are in there. And now the last side is probably the most critical side, because you want to make sure you got the tension, but not too much. If you make it too tight, when you put the spline in, it's going to bring the sides in and it's going to bow, and you're going to have a bow to your screen. You don't want that. The bigger the screen, the easier that is to bow. In fact, a lot of times when the screen is very large, I'll bow it out a little bit, not too much, just bow it out so it's a little bowed, so when you make it nice and tight, it brings it straight and parallel to each other. It's a little trick for you. So with this screen, we're just going to make sure we're tight, we're straight, and not a lot of slack, just not too tight, because as you can see, it's pulling it in from both sides as I put the spline in. And now I go back to double check and make sure we're in nice and tight, and then get your blade very carefully, just put some pressure on it facing outward, not towards the inside, and cut that extra spline off to cut it off there at the corner. Okay, so you're going to want to get your blade. I usually start with the side with the roll and get on the spleen on the outside edge. You don't want to touch the inside because that's going to damage the new window screen that you just put in. So on the outside, you're going to want to run your blade, take your time, and then that's going to cut off the excess. And then once you get to the corner, just go ahead and cut it straight off. And then you can go ahead and square that off. Okay, so now you want to go ahead and trim all the three other sides. So just hit the corner, and then I use my finger as a guide so I'm not floating in the air. I'll run it along the track and just take your time, nice and smooth. And then at this point, just rotate it. Go around your corner. And that's all there is to it. And there you have it. A nice, tight screen. Not too tight, it's not bowing. When it's too tight, they tend to twist also. So that looks like a nice window screen. Let's go ahead and put it in. All right, now it's time to put it in. The tabs go on the inside of the window so you can remove it from the inside and not the outside. The springs go into the channel here. And what I like to do is just pull the frame, push the frame in, top and bottom, and it snaps right into place. And there you have it, a brand new window screen that fits perfectly every time. So if you found anything useful in the video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below on what you'd like to see us do next. Have a great day.